We're back this afternoon with a closer look at the effort to map extreme heat. So NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
You got it.
There you go. It's a mouthful. They're sort of behind this mission.
Yeah, they're going to map extreme heat in 18 communities across the country, and 2 of them are right here in Massachusetts. So First Alert meteorologist Tevin Wooten joining us now. Tevin, talk more about this because it is a problem.
It is a problem, and heat is the #1 weather-related killer, JC and Colton. Urban heat islands are essentially what they sound like. Islands of pockets of heat in urban communities. They can be up to 10 degrees hotter, by the way, than areas with significant tree cover, which are just minutes away to some extent. Ultimately, this project will help local leaders take better action to reduce the health impacts of extreme heat right where it happens. But getting the mapping project done requires an army of citizen scientists.
We have 42 volunteers participating in 21 shifts today. We have your afternoon route. Rick and Bill? Yes. Right. Awesome. Great. So what we have here is a folder of resources for you both.
The goal is to collect temperatures over this about the 80 square miles region.
I am going to get this.
We are going to have a very detailed heat map for our region.
So this is our heat watch sensor. When the GPS light is solid blue, that means we are ready for data collection.
I'm going to put this on the passenger side of my vehicle. So now it's all set to go. All I have to do is turn it on. As I'm driving, it's going to be transmitting data on temperature to the various places. So they'll know where I am on the route through GPS. I'm doing this route. Somebody did it early this morning at 6 o'clock. And somebody else will be doing it at 7 o'clock this evening, so we get comparable data as the day progresses.
The data goes to Kappa Strategies, and Kappa Strategies will organize it into a report and a heat map that shows the distribution of heat and humidity over the morning, afternoon, and evening. This is probably the first time something is happening for Framingham, Natick, Ashland, and Holliston. They'll get to see what parts of their community are the hottest and coolest. It'll go into their climate action plan, coming up with local solutions and policy programs that can be put in place to mitigate the heat.
Climate change is one of those things where as an individual it's really hard to do something, especially something measurable. So when I found that there was a volunteer opportunity, especially at the school I attend, I thought it was really important that I actually just commit a couple of hours of my time.
We know that extreme heat episodes are going just to increase. They know they are hot, but they may not know that there are actually practical solutions to mitigate that heat. We want to encourage action to promote change.
All 18 communities in this year's mapping project have a history of extreme heat, but this takes it a step further. It gets down to the street level to look for equitable ways to implement cooling solutions.
Tevin, it looks like today would be a perfect day because it is so hot. So can you, let's get an example of what an urban heat island effect would be on a day like today?
Yeah, JC, that's a very good question and a very good point, too. I mean, essentially, you think about how, for example, buildings or asphalt, the concrete, all of those things absorb the heat. So if you're in a place like Dorchester, for example, the temperatures are closer to about 91 degrees right now. But in a place like Acton, once you get further away from the city, those temperatures are closer to 88 degrees. So that is essentially a smaller scale difference of about 3 or 4 degrees. But that still, to some extent, illustrates what an urban heat island is. In a place like Dorchester, you don't have a lot of tree canopy, not a lot of tree cover. It's mostly bare ground, asphalt, and buildings, of course, from the city of Boston. Once you get further away, you reduce the amount of asphalt, you increase the amount of parks, for example, which is so crucial. That's why greenery is very important.